In this example, I'm given 3 loops. I have loop 1 shown in blue, loop 2 shown in red, and loop 3 shown in green. I've got one term from KVL on each of these loops. I want to fill in the missing terms. Loop 1 is first. It starts here, it goes this direction, comes around through here. My V1 term is positive. And for V1, the loop is entering the positive terminal. That means positive corresponds to the loop entering a positive terminal. So with that sign convention, I can finish up this KVL equation. 0 is equal to V1. Continuing on around here, the next element I see is V sub s, and I see the positive terminal first, so I add V sub s. The next element I see is V5, and I see the positive terminal first, so I add V5. And finally, I go here and I see the negative terminal on V3 next, so I subtract V3. And these 3 terms are my missing terms. Now let's do KVL around loop 2 shown in red. The term that I'm given is V sub s, and that's positive. So the loop enters the positive terminal. So that term gives me the sign convention I have to follow when I'm dealing with the other voltages. So my KVL equation becomes 0 is equal to V sub s plus whatever missing terms I have. If I follow this loop around, I enter the positive terminal of V4, so I add V4, and those are the only 2 voltage differences in that loop. V4 is the missing term in this equation. Finally, let's do KVL around this green outer loop, which is loop number 3. I'm given that V5 is a positive term. In this case, this loop is going this direction, so I see a negative terminal first. So the loop is actually entering a negative terminal. So the sign convention invoked by this term is that if I see a negative terminal first, I'm going to add that term. If I see a positive terminal first, I need to do the opposite, which is subtract it. So my equation is 0 is equal to V5. Going around here, the next thing I see is a positive terminal on V4. So I add a negative V4. Then around here I see a negative terminal on V1, which corresponds to a positive term. And finally, coming around here, I enter a positive terminal on V3, which is the opposite of my sign convention, so I subtract V3. So these are my missing terms.